got the 4 seed and the 5 seed getting ready to kick things off with Steffen coming out with that Enderman this time. No Rob in sight. We're going full forward with this Steve, and we'll see what we'll see how the cookie crumbles.
I would describe, I mean, if I had to pick between these two characters, I would describe Palutena as more quintessential than a character like like a character like Steve or Enderman like we got going on right here, because Steve, of course, has a lot, like, you know, more gimmicks, but does have, like, some stuff that can be exploited depending on the matchup, despite how good they are for sure. Palutena more so, because I feel like, you know, sort of like Wolf and like Fox, the character just has sort of everything you need at, like, a basic level, though there are some few people who are still not Palu believers and still don't think this character, you know, still think this character fell off more than I personally believe that she did. But as the minecart's gonna take the stock right there, we're gonna see that Steve definitely, like, has more ways to get around than just, like, the silly gimmicks of the blocks and everything like that.
Oh, wait, that was sick. Okay.
Wow.
There's not often that you can be impressed by Steve plays, but the fact that Steffen used the already constructed tower as a means as a means to set up for his full combos, like, that was really clean stuff, and it shows why Steffen is a growing Steve player, and shows more of the situational awareness that Steve can put up when you're utilizing these constructs. They're not just for defense, they're also for inexplicable offense.
Speaking of inexplicable offense, I love that double jump read that we saw earlier, like from Gons, especially in that set that he had against Jukon for sure. That was such a tight spot to be in. He didn't know whether to just sort of stay in the cart or mash out, because he knew that he was going to get out of the minecart eventually. He didn't know whether he wanted to do that faster based on how Steffen was charging that, or if he wanted it to just, like, sort of just linger on its own to make sure he didn't get around it. That was really, really good situational awareness by Steffen, to say the least.
The dash attack is able to beat out that back air again, thanks to the shield. And very low on materials is Steffen. Just a stone and an iron to his name. No gold as well, which means his powered minecart isn't going to let him get out of the corner for free. But how is Marcus going to be able to close out this stock? Just all the lingering in a while, and the roll on gets him past, but at 160, has an extra diamond, which was a huge mine, but still no blocks. Oh, no, sir. He just did it again.
That's the kind of moment where you're just so upset to not take that stock.
Oh, Lord. You're doing so well, and just it can sometimes be some of these characters' curse, especially the Palutena nerfs really feeling rough. Not able to have down throw back air at kill percent means that you're playing advantage for a really long time. And Steffen utilizing not only Enderman's reversal options in those minecarts in order to get back to center stage very quickly, but also you still have to be aware that, those diamond forward air and back airs are always threats, no matter the positioning or the state of the game.
They are always threats up close, but at the end of the day, you know, this is Palutena that we're talking about, who I feel, as far as, like, bad matchups against Steve really go, I feel like Palutena does quite well in this matchup for the sole reason that her hitboxes are not only huge and able to easily get around stuff like the blocks, or at least easier than some other characters, is that unfortunate block placement, knew the down air was coming that time, is going to do it for Gons there, but also with Explosive Flame and Auto Reticle, the former of which able to just, like, sort of literally get around the blocks if the Steve player elects to try to camp with it in this matchup. Just goes to prove that they sort of can't. I feel like this is the kind of matchup that really forces Steve to think outside the box, no pun intended.
Yeah, the best thing about this when it comes to a Steve matchup is that you're not dealing with a consistent disjoint that's huge like Cloud or Sephiroth or Shulk, a character like that, but you are still dealing with an incredibly fast character that can get in and out on a whim. It still means that if they're getting in and out on a whim, eventually they are going to be interacting with you, they are going to be up close, and that's where Steve can start putting on a bit of a show. Oh, it gets hit by the minecart as looked like Marcus was trying to set up for a back air. I'm surprised we actually went back to Pokemon Stadium too. Normally, if you want a wide stage against Steve, Town and City can be pretty beneficial, because not only are you getting a wide stage, but you're also giving Steve primarily wood and wood adjacent materials, which is a lot of blocks, but they don't get to upgrade their tools as quickly.
I would imagine that Gons probably didn't want to go there because, you know, like, Gons, one thing we've been seeing from him a lot is that we see a lot of, like, these double jump air dodge reads, like, right there, for instance, as because he knows when, like, players really love to double jump out of disadvantage, which in Smash Ultimate, especially at higher level, is quite frequent for sure. So, on Town and City, you know, with those higher blast zones, you know the up air is going to kill a little less, though. It is still Palutena, so how much it matters is really up for debate. But that back throw, doesn't matter what stage you're on, that close to the ledge is definitely going to be able to take the stock as Gons. Marcus right now looking poised to take this game number 2.
Yeah, what a complete turnaround from game 1, where it felt like Steffen could just live forever on some of these stocks, able to set up such good defensive measures while they press to their own offense. And this game is quite the opposite. Marcus has been playing to his own strengths, playing to this like face backwards, these jump call-outs, and able to get just far enough and abuse the fact that while Steffen has all of these resources, all of these tools, and quite literally to his name, man, like Steve's jump just doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't, no. Honestly, and that's the kind of stuff I miss seeing from, like, Marcus's Palutena as well. He was so good at getting, like, those double jump up air reads, especially, like, reversing them to sort of mix up, like, how his opponent is going to DI and just getting, like, the back pit or part of the hitbox as well. Palutena's up air, my friend, that is a pretty good move in and of its right. Comes out fast, kills, combos, does your taxes, does pretty much everything for you. And now we have Final Destination, which I don't blame... Yeah, I don't blame it is, isn't it? I gotta get working on mine, getting mine done. Mine look weird as crap. Oh, going for broke right there, but the drop zone, definitely a really good situation to do that in. You had Palutena really low, you had stage control, you could have just hang up to do it yourself as you run out of materials to continue the combo with no damage touched. Excuse me, with the auto reticle gonna touch on Steffen instead. Why not go for that drop zone, Ubel?
Hey, it's a very clean setup when you have Minecart on deck, but the explosive flame not only catching Steffen, but also detonating the TNT, and that's the type of advantage you really need to take when in order to get by and get just any sort of opportunity you can, as Marcus had such a huge deficit. Once again, teleporting past the blocks, delaying as long as they could, but that back air still was found, and an early teleport is going to lead into a stock. Great tracking from Steffen. Now all you need to do is wrap this game up at a 3 stocks to 1 lead. Not impossible for sure, but it's going to be very, very difficult given the pace that Steffen can play at. Revolves so quickly.
Absolutely. You know, we had Palutena earlier being the one to think outside the box, and we do finally see Steffen starting to utilize blocks by the ledge a lot more. As Palutena, if she's able to be low enough, you can really stop her up B from grabbing the ledge right there. And we really have not seen that all set from Steffen. And right now showing that we really don't even need to see that from him all that much. As neutrals reset, back air is going to do it yet again right there. Gons was doing throughout this set such a wonderful job at making sure he was never in that disadvantageous position where the ledge was blocked off by Steffen, though he was never really utilizing the blocks by the ledge that much, rather focusing on just like the punish game of Steve instead. And right now, just focusing on trying to get the punish out of the parry. Beautiful timing on the shield from Marcus right here. And another one is like Steffen is just continuing his onslaught here, Ubel. This is definitely looking like Steffen's game to lose.
For sure, with all of these resources that they were able to build, committing too hard into punishing the blocks. Marcus did that a little bit earlier where they dash attacked through some of the blocks and then immediately dash attacked again in order to prevent Steffen from punishing as they were